Oh, hi there. I didn't hear you click in. I'm just looking through this old photo album I found of some of my friends growing up. We had some really good times. There's Justin Morrow. He was the president of the local Bonnie Franklin fan club. He was a huge fan, I tell you what. I always liked Snyder better on the show. But, oh. And there's old Mark Leonard. If there was ever a Mean Joe Green fan, that was him. I had a Mean Joe Green jersey that I won from Coca-Cola. Sure did make him jealous. There's my old friend Boyd. Oh, what a friend, what a friend. Good times and bad times. And another friend I had, Mike. He was kind of my brother's friend and my friend. You ever had any friends like that? When we first met, he was closer to my age, but he was in between ages of me and my brother, so he gradually became friends with my brother when he got a little older. Oh, I remember this time he had a Terry Bradshaw jersey. Oh, you're going to like this story here. So my friend Mike, who looks like someone, at least at this time, looked like someone you might see in the movie Roadhouse. This guy right here. Yeah, a cross between Hank Williams Jr. and Matt Houston. That's a 10-gallon hat if I've ever seen one. Well, he was a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of people in the 80s were a fan of the Steelers, or the late 70s. If it wasn't the Dallas Cowboys and those hot cheerleaders. Do they still have cheerleaders today? If they do, I bet some of them were boys. Anyway, he loved the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he loved Terry Bradshaw. If my memory's right, that's who he played for. If I'm wrong, sorry about that. And we used to camp out in his backyard. It was a lot of fun. And one night we camped out there, and I don't remember the full story of how I ended up with it, but he let me sleep in his Terry Bradshaw jersey. Don't worry, this isn't some kind of confession story about how we made sweet love that night. No, it's not a story about that at all. It's about a big problem I had when it came to a Star Wars figure. But let me finish the story. So, the next morning, woke up. Remember that when you camp out with your friends in your backyard? That morning dew, the morning air? Just seemed like you were on a whole different planet, a different world. You wasn't waking up in your bedroom. You were waking up outside like some kind of prehistoric caveman. It was crazy. And everything was always wet. And I don't mean just your pants. Seemed like the bottom of the tent was wet, the top of the tent was wet, the sleeping bag was wet, outside was wet. Everything was wet in the mornings. Anyway, I scuffled on home while Mike wandered back into his house, probably to have some, I don't know, Cheerios or something. And I went home probably, knowing me, to have some Cocoa Pebbles. I know, I'm a fan of Captain Crunch, but Mom still bought Cocoa Pebbles the most, which was good because it would turn your milk into chocolate milk. So it was like you had cereal and soup. Or I guess cereal and chocolate milk, I should say. So I went home with his Terry Bradshaw jersey. Again, he was a huge fan of football and the Steelers and loved this jersey. And I didn't think nothing about it. I even forgot it was here. And I wore it for a couple of days throughout the weekend. You know, back then we didn't change clothes on the weekend if we didn't have to. We didn't take a bath unless the moms made us. Whew. I remember my grandma used to just wash my face with a washcloth, and it was the hardest rubbing. Oh, she would just rub your face so hard. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. So, I went outside in the backyard probably a few days later that weekend, that Sunday, and played around with the dog. And I don't know, I think I was rolling around the ground. I said I was playing with the dog, but knowing me, I probably was acting like I got shot. You know, probably Belloc shot me and I was Indiana Jones. And if we had a deck, I would love to act like I fell off the deck when I got shot. So I would fall off and roll around the ground and everything. And I didn't think nothing about it. And then Monday, he said, "Hey, where's my Terry Bradshaw jersey? Where is the jersey?" And I thought, what is a Terry Bradshaw? Sound like something you wash your car with. And he said, "No, I need my jersey back. I love Terry Bradshaw." And I said, okay, come on, we'll get it. He lived across the street from us after school. I gave him his Terry Bradshaw. Now, I didn't wash it. I didn't know how to run a washing machine. We're talking early 80s here. I wasn't even 10 years old yet. It's probably 8 or 9, I think. Again, it's a long time here. But gave him back the jersey, didn't think anything about it. Next day, we went to different schools. I got off the school bus, and he was waiting for me. I remember my brother was out there also. And he seemed a little upset. Did the Steelers lose? I didn't know what was going on. So I was like, hey, guys, what's going on? And he's like, hey, don't wait. What guy's me? I know what's going on. You got dog shit on my Terry Bradshaw's jersey. Well, see me rolling around the backyard getting shot off the deck or jumping off the deck or whatever I did. I rolled around the grass and got some dog poop on his Terry Bradshaw jersey, and he wasn't happy about it whatsoever. Oh no, he wasn't. My brother was there and he thought the whole thing was kind of funny, and he wanted to beat me up, wanted to punch me in the face. He said even if he washes the Terry Bradshaw jersey, it's never going to come clean. It's never going to get like it was. I ruined it. He knows that there's dog poop on it. There's nothing I can do. And my brother did step in. Said, you can't punch him in the face. You know, he's my little brother. He goes home crying. And then mom gets mad at me because I was there and didn't protect him. Or, well, we won't be able to play and hang out together anymore. So he did help me there. But my brother had another plan. He said, Mike, why don't you take something of his, something he loves, something very meaningful to him that if it had dog poop on it, you couldn't get it back. You couldn't get it back. And Mike thought, he said, yeah, I'll shove his face in some dog poop. I saw some across the street, really fresh. He even has some corn in it. I'm going to smash his face into it. And no, my brother said, I can't do it. You got to get something of his. You know, and one thing, he won't tell mom and dad because I don't want to know I ruined something that they probably bought me. So he asked me, he said, well, what do you like? What do you like? You know, like I'm going to tell him what my favorite thing is, all right? And I remember it in my book bag. And believe it or not, I know it's going to be shocking to you guys. In my book bag, I had Raiders of the Lost Ark trading cards. Not a whole set, probably just one pack. I don't know if it was in a pack, 8 to 10. Ate the bubble gum already. But I can remember I got them that morning on the way to school. I don't know why I stopped at the store. My mom, I don't remember, it was a long time ago, so I don't remember every detail how I got these cards. But I know I had the cards. And there was one of them, it was near the end of the movie where Marion and Indy's outside the government building talking about what they're going to do with the Ark. You know what scene I'm talking about. It's like, but it's Indiana Jones. He's not in his Indiana Jones outfit, but he's wearing a different fedora. Didn't really care for that card. Didn't really care. So I was handing him over. I said, I just got these cards, trying to collect them all. This is my first pack. This card right here is my favorite out of the pack because it's got Indy and Marion. I really love it. If you rubbed it in some dog poop, I would be very sad. And this is a cardboard card. I can't go home and wash it. If I wash it, it's going to be ruined. Even if I wipe it off, it's not going to get the stench out. So, hey, here's the Raiders of the Lost Ark trading card. If you rub it in poop, I'll never have a complete set. Or I'll just have to pack after pack until I find another one. Mike was giddy. He was like, yeah, I got him now. He took the card. And that's when my brother chimed in with some more wisdom. Hold on, Mike, he said. He just bought these cards today. Now, I know my brother is an Indiana Jones fan, but he's not going to care about these cards in a week or two. My brother knew me. I did like Indiana Jones. It wasn't my Star Wars, but I did like it. But it wasn't like something I would just buy all these cards and collect them. If I was at a store, I'd get some good. If I didn't, you know. So he started telling Mike, he said, he doesn't care about that. Mike said, oh yeah, you're trying to pull a fast one on me, you know, and I said, what? I tried to explain to him, no, come on, man, I like this, man, I love this card, please don't get this card dirty. Again, I knew this is a card I hated. I could risk losing it. But my brother said, you know what he really likes more than anything in this world? And Mike said, his mom. I'll put his mom in a face down in doo-doo. And he's like, no, you can't put our mom down in doo-doo, and then we'll be back to the same problem here if I punch him in the face. And there's one thing he likes better than mom. And I said, well, and he told Mike, Star Wars action figures. So Mike looked at me and looked at my brother and remembered that I did always play Star Wars figures. You knew I had a bunch of them. My brother had a bunch of them too. And he asked me, he said, Junk Kid, what's your favorite Star Wars figure? Now, this is normally where I would spurt out something like Cloud Car Pilot. You know, something that I really didn't care that much about. But I've never been asked what was my favorite Star Wars figure. Something I always wanted to be asked. Every day I would someone asked me what was my favorite Star Wars figure. No one would ever ask me. Maybe my brother every once in a while when we were playing, but I would go to school and hope someone, maybe the teacher would say, okay guys, we want to write a 10-page report about your favorite Star Wars figure. Never happened. Kept waiting for it to happen. Never happened. So, without thinking, I would say, Cloud Car Pilot. I just blurted out, Han Hoth. Well, I knew time I said it, Han Hoth. That was it. Han Hoth. My brother, smiled and said, I'll be back. I know where he keeps the Han Hoth action figure. I will go get it. Thanks a lot, big brother. Thanks a lot. So we stood out there for a few minutes. Mike was kind of getting excited, rubbing his hands together. I remember he adjusted his big cowboy hat a couple of times, had his big feather in it. I don't know why I had a feather in a cowboy hat. It didn't like it could fly or anything. Or maybe he pulled it out to write letters. I don't know. It was better to have a baloney stuck in your hat, I guess. Remember that guy that had baloney stuck in his hat? Or was it a feather he called baloney? Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Our brother, after about 10 minutes, came back outside holding a Han Hoth action figure that was mine. And anyone who knows I've talked about this figure before. It was my favorite figure, and I love to chew on his foot. I don't know why I like chewing on the foot. I did like chewing on the foot. So he showed it, and I was like, oh God, I couldn't believe it. So I gotta get that figure. Well, if he rubs it in glue, it's gonna get all the creases and everything. But he handed it to Mike. Mike looked at it. I said, okay, maybe he's like me. Maybe he's like, I can't do this to a Star Wars figure. I just can't do it. But he smiled, turned, and walked back across the street toward his house. Right there on the side of the road by the mailbox, in between the mailbox and the end bed, was this huge pile of fresh dog poop. Now, I don't know what dog left it, but it was a pretty good-sized dog, I'm pretty sure. Had to be something like a golden retriever or a Great Dane. It was a big dog. And I think it still had steam coming off of it. So this thing was pretty planned out. I don't know how he got the dog to poop right there, but maybe, I don't know. But it seemed the dog was in on this altogether, although I never saw the dog. Now that I think about it, maybe it was Mike's poop. I don't know. So he took the Han Hoth and looked at it, and he said, you like this Han Hoth? And I was like, I love Han Hoth. He's my favorite figure in the world. Please, please don't put him in the poop. Put anything else. I told him, hey, look, I got this new shirt. Put it in the poop. It's equal. Shirt, poop. We're all equal, right? But nope, he didn't care. Took my Han Hoth figure, turned him upside down. It was like sticking an action figure into a pile of Play-Doh. Smush it right. I could see the doo-doo going up around the figure, almost like he was making a mold of the figure. And he stuck it in there, and he twisted it, and twisted it, and twisted it, and then pulled it out. I can still see the poop caked on the Han Hoth's face. How could I ever play with this action figure again? It had dog poop on it. Or maybe even Mike poop, who knows. Remember, he held that figure up, he looked at it, and he said, now, we're even. And he flipped it up. I didn't want to catch it. At first I did because it was Star Wars. You wanted to break, but I jumped back, hit the ground, boom, 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 bounced around on the concrete, on the driveway, on the road right by the mailbox, bounced around a little bit, and him and my brother turned and walked off. You'd think the story would end there, and I guess it kind of does, at least from their point of view, but I remember looking down at that Han Hoth figure. I was heartbroken. I can remember crying. I tried my best to hold it in. I'm glad no one was there besides me. I kind of bent down, picked up the foot of the figure, because it didn't have any poop on it, and I could smell the stench. I still remember it today. It smelled like Vienna sausage mixed with a sewer rat. It was horrible. And I remember looking at it, and I took my shirt, something like this right here, I just try to wipe it off. Why did I wipe it off on my shirt? Hey, I was a stupid little kid, and I didn't care about my shirt. I could throw it away. Didn't really come clean, just smeared it everywhere, smeared it on my shirt. So I went back to the house, turned on the water hose, sprayed it off with that good spray, sprayed it off really good. And it was gone. Dude, it was gone. The smell wasn't gone. The smell was still there. But it still had But he still didn't have any doo-doo on him. So that was good. No more doo-doo on my Han Hoth figure. How many of you have ever said the words doo-doo on a Han Hoth figure? I bet not many of you have ever said that. So I was all proud. Although I had a smeared doo-doo stain on my shirt, I didn't care. I had a Han with no doo-doo on him. So I gladly picked it back up, headed back toward my house. I was already in the yard, and that's when I saw my brother and Mike again. Mike didn't like that I was grinning and smiling. He didn't like that I was holding a Han Hoth action figure with no poop on it. He said, "Hey, did you clean that off?" I was like, "Yeah, I cleaned it off. What do you want me to do? Just leave it with poop on it, play with it all the time?" He said, "Well, it came clean. Unlike my shirt, it's not going to come that clean." So he said, "Let me see that figure again." I said, "No, we've already been through." And he snatched it out of my hand, headed back across the street toward the big dog poop. And I said, "Oh, God, here we go again." But you know what he did this time? You know what he did this time? He grabbed it by the feet. And before sticking it down in that poop for the second time, he rubbed it as hard as he could across that road. Guess it's made out of concrete. Is that what a road's made out of? Have you ever rubbed an action figure across the road? It's horrible. The whole side of his face is completely gone. There was no way this figure could be saved again. And that wasn't bad enough. Then he took it, put it in the poo-poo again, twisted it all around, and then pulled it out and flicked it across the road into my yard. If I wasn't heartbreaking before, I was heartbroken now. Not only did it have poop on it, now if I wash it off, it was ruined. It was ruined. And I can remember I didn't even go look for Han. I don't know, he might be out there today somewhere right now. It was my favorite figure. I did end up getting another Han Hoth figure. I made a great trade at school, probably a couple of weeks later, where I traded a bologna sandwich and a lunchbox. What's a little? It was grape flavor. It was like a little, a little. What do you? Juice box. That's, I guess, what I'm looking for. High C maybe, grape. Traded in a bologna sandwich for a Han Hoth figure. It was like new. Joints were still tight. So a couple of days later, I got me another Han Hoth. I can remember having that figure. I was outside playing with it and some other figures, and I saw Mike there again. He was wearing his Terry Bradshaw jersey, and we never really spoke of this incident again. Apparently he cleaned his jersey, the boot came off, he was okay, I guess, or maybe he got another one. I'm not sure. We didn't hate each other. We didn't become enemies because of this. We should have. But, we would hang out every now and then. He would mostly hang out with me. My brother wasn't home. Like I said, it was in between ages. So there's no real moral to the story other than if you wear somebody's Terry Bradshaw jersey, don't go rolling around the yard because you might get poop on it. I guess that's the only thing I can see. I know we should have learned something from this story, but we really didn't. But, I haven't thought about this story in probably almost 40, 45 years, probably. So now I thought about it today, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. I don't know if you guys care, but I like telling you my little childhood stories or not. But that right there is the story of how a Terry Bradshaw poop jersey got me a Han Hoth with poop on it. Well, I want to thank you for watching. As always, thumb up if you like my content, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments below. Did you have anything you love get poop on it? Ooh, I hope not. We'll be back again with another video. Oh. Amy Covey. Amy Covey. Oh, make my heart flicker. Make my heart flicker.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.